Hello, this is Prince of Somnia, and welcome back to more Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles. Today we're going to be continuing on doing a few more side quests here at the Bionoslag and in Colony 9, just to wrap up a few more things before we head on off to rescue Juju, who's honestly probably dead by now, considering how long we've been screwing around doing side quests. But anyway, on to nicer thoughts, I guess. If you remember, in the last side quest episode, we completed a quest called A Thoughtful Idea. This is the follow-up to that quest. Speak to Ewan after completing a thoughtful idea, and you'll be able to receive a dash of Kalur. We need to collect 4 sour gooseberries on Bionoslag. It's not too difficult to do, but it's a lot easier to just talk to Kiroki and trade with him at 1 star because he offers it right here. And, well, collecting collectibles is, awful. But this is why I'm here, viewers. I'm here to tell you about where you can just trade things instead of having to worry about, you know, collecting things, because that would just be annoying. Once you've gathered your 4 sour gooseberries, head back to Ewan. And then once you've talked to Ewan, he wants you to give paints back to Matriona, even though he's literally right next to her. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then once you've given the paints to Matriona, return 5 steps away to Ewan. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. Now this next quest is a follow-up to A Dash of Kalur. This is another one of those vision quests where you see a vision of something that might happen in the future and realize that you need to fix things before things really just go down the tubes. This time it's Pama drowning. If you recall, Pama is the one they're trying to make a book for using the paints and the ink that we just collected. This is Imaginations Tempered. Now, this is not just a timed quest, it's also exclusive to another quest that we'll actually have a vision of. You'll see here that Arda, who is actually lying down in the back of the cave, is really, really ill. Now, if we go chat to Arda, who's literally just back here, you'll notice that she has a quest ready for us right now. This is Spirits Raised. Now, we're not going to be completing either of these quests at the moment, because we kind of need to take a little bit of time to advance the main plot a little bit. Just know that Spirits Raised is the one you want to complete, not Imaginations Tempered. If you complete Imaginations Tempered, you will be permanently locked out of the future side quest. And that's no good. Anyway, the next quest we're actually going to do is over here with Satata, who has a little bit of interesting trivia to go with himself. At least from what I've heard. Like his name in one other language, I forget which, is the same as the name of the English name for one of the Napon in Xenoblade X or something like that. Anyway, this is Being a Good Grandfather, the first time I've had to shrink the text size for a side quest objective list. We want to collect some sticky web fibers from sticky web fibres from Arachnos on the Bionoslag, but we can instead trade with any leader at 2-star affinity in Colony 9, or overtrade Anna in the Refugee Camp. Either one is fine, but it's pretty much easy just to do with any leader. Since if you've been following along with this guide, or the side quest guide, you probably should be at 2-star affinity with Colony 9 by now. Probably. Once you've gathered your sticky web fiber rays, head back to Satada so we can repair Kiroki's toy. Then take the fixed toy and give it to Kiroki. We saw him in the last side quest episode, but in this side quest episode, but he's just hanging around near the entrance of the cave. Once you hand him the toy, return to Satada and finish the quest. Our next little quest here is actually something a little bit different. It's a surprise quest! They call it that because it's a surprise! Sometimes in the game you'll wander around and you'll just run into a side quest out of nowhere. This one is Save the Girl. All you need to do is approach this little pool near Gar Plain over on the eastern side, or southeastern side, and you'll notice a few 4 ferocious wolves trying to attack someone bathing. Defeat them, then speak to the girl in order to complete the surprise quest. There's not too many of those in the game, but this is the first opportunity we have to explain it, so I thought I would explain it right here. Anyway, with a little bit of an affinity boost, we can actually now do Satata's next side quest, a follow-up to being a good grandfather. We can accept the quest, but we're not going to do it quite yet, because, again, it's taking us to an area that we haven't been to in the plot. My general philosophy for side quests, in case you haven't picked up on it by now, is to hold off on doing side quests that take us beyond where we would have to watch another cutscene, because I want to keep those for the regular episodes. This is the Greedy Monster. There's an abnormal frog in Ragwell Lake that I will point out later, but not now. Anyway, Ernest actually has another quest for us, and just like the other quest, or just like a Greedy Monster, we won't be finishing this quest off today, because I think I'm done beating that dead horse now. But anyway, this is Ernest's Mischief. This is the last of the quests we can really accept around here right now. So now we just have a few little things to wrap up in Colony 9 that I didn't last time. So I'll just head over there and show you what I mean. Now, this isn't a side quest, but at around this time, if you've spoken to Jan and I forget the other NPC, if you talk to Dionysus, and tell him he's too old for her, that'll unlock a side quest later in the game. Anyway, on to Giorgio. Now this is the first time we've ever had a set of quests that are actually path exclusive. If you remember, Overworked and Underpaid had 2 paths. If you completed the path we did not do during the side quest guide, you would receive Out of Luck Giorgio at this moment, which is a bunch of collection quests. But since we did do Path A for Overworked and Underpaid, we get Pestering Paula instead, where we have to talk to Paula and do something for her. If you remember, Route A is Giorgio continuing to work, and Route B was Giorgio taking time for his family. Anyway, in order to take on the fiendish Bunnet, you just want to head over by Cliff Lake. It's easy to go to Outlook Park and just drop down and then walk over there, if you don't want to take the long way around. And up on this little ledge over here, the fiendish Bunnet is just chilling. It's really weak, so yeah, there you go. The reason why I waited until now to do this quest is because we needed 3 stars for Colony 9, and I had to do a little bit of work off screen in order to get that far. Now once we take on the Bunnet, we return to Paula, and then return to Giorgio and finish off this quest. Now on to another side quest. This is going to be a little bit of a side quest chain here with Jackson. And by that I mean we have not just this quest, but another couple of quests that we can do. Now Jackson over here is trying to look for someone to give him a job, and since he can't handle his own problems, it apparently falls to us to do. This is Jackson's Awakening. Now there are two ways you can complete this quest. You can either speak to Kenny Rohan or Giorgio. Now, personally, I chose to do Kenny Rohan's route because of a reason I'll explain a little bit later in this episode. Kenny Rohan is found in Tranquil Square at 10 o'clock. If you speak to him, we can receive his path. Now, other than a future quest, which is influenced by your decision here, the rest of the quest is pretty much exactly the same. You have to defeat 5 Tephra... Let me try that one again. You talk to whichever patron you choose, you head to Tephra Cave and defeat 5 Tephra lizards near Villia Lake, then you return to the patron, then you return to Jackson. It's really just as simple as that, and the Tephra lizards are incredibly weak. Really, I'm kind of weirded out that you need 3 stars because it's kind of hard to do that, and also be level 9, so yeah, I don't know. But anyway, taking on Jackson's Awakening, Kenny Rohan's route, that's why I marked it with K instead of like A or B, because I got those. Anyway, yeah. You take on the Tephra lizards, you head back to Jackson, and you tell him that he's going to be, well, whatever you picked. This isn't the end of this, though, because Jackson actually has a follow-up quest immediately after this. Now, once again, just like with Giorgio's 2 quests, Jackson's next quest is dependent on which path you chose for Jackson's Awakening. But, if you did Giorgio's path, if I recall correctly, you'll actually lose affinity with the colony the moment you take on Jackson's next quest. So, yeah, I wanted to avoid that. You will either get Jackson the Cook, which is a collection quest, basically, or Jackson the Poet, which is a boss fight. Now, if you did do Jackson the Poet, head to Kneecap Hill and change it to nighttime, and you can fight the level 24 Dim Wisp. Now, it's very likely that you won't be able to handle the Dim Wisp at this point, because yellow-tagged enemies like him are, at this point in the game, too strong for you to handle unless you really know what you're doing. And I mean really know what you're doing. Now, I could get away with doing this fight, because I actually do know what I'm doing when it comes to Xenoblade, but it wasn't easy. I almost died multiple times. It was hard to do. So, yeah, you want to kind of watch out. If you do decide to do Jackson the Poet, you could honestly probably should just wait until the next side quest episode in order to handle it, because otherwise the Dim Wisp is probably just going to wreck you. I decided to take it on a whim just because I wanted to see if I could do it, and to my surprise, honestly, I didn't expect this to happen. I actually did win this fight, so that was really nice. Anyway, once you slay the Dim Wisp near Kneecap Hill, head back to Jackson at 10 o'clock in the morning and complete the quest. Alright, so that is almost every quest that we can handle right at this moment. Unfortunately, past me didn't realize that I had forgotten Sesame's follow-up quest until way later in the game, so don't expect that to get resolved until later. But this is all that I'm going to be doing right now. In the next episode of Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles, we're going to be rescuing Juju from the Mechon that took him. Or, well, will take him. You know what I mean. See you guys then!